Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. In Coleman Coliseum, I was there on Saturday. I didn't see a game anywhere as good as the game that we saw tonight. Alabama 98, Florida 93 in overtime. Alabama was down by as many as 9 points in the second half, but they found a way to get it going. They found a way to get a win. They got it to the extra period and they won by 5. T.O., I'm going to start with you on this one. Aaron Estrada, 20 points, 8 boards, 8 assists. Mark Sear, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Grant Nelson, 22.6 blocks. Every time I watch this Alabama team play, I get more and more impressed by the talent they have offensively. We still have the questions about the defensive end of the floor, but what about this Alabama group stands out to you the most? How good can this team be?
Their ability to score. But I'll say this, guys, it looked like a game I would have loved to have played in. There was no defense whatsoever. Nobody could guard the ball, and you were just hoping that a big 6'10 guy or 7-footer, either in Grant Nelson or Micah Handlockton, was going to be able to block shots. Neither team was defending worth anything. So I know it was 98-93. I know they went into overtime, but this was a fun game if you were an offensive player. And let's be honest, if neither team's going to defend, neither team's going to go that far in the tournament because the basket has a lid on it at times in the NCAA tournament. You got to find other ways to win. And I'm not sure that either team really can. That's kind of a scary thing for me. Both teams have talent. Both teams can put up 110 on a given night. But it's a matter of, are you able to get stops? But what I will say, really impressed by what Florida is able to do so quickly because look, they finally they got their players right. They picked the right guys. I think Micah Handlockton has been terrific. Three shots and it ends up with 13 boards, altered many more than the 3 blocks that he had. It's a talented bunch of guys. And Tyrese Samuel, we talked about him for a couple of years. When he was at Seton Hall, I was like, man, that kid's talented. Well, he just continues to prove that. They're good. It's a tough place to play at Alabama. And you lose on the road in the SEC. I hate to even say it like that because that sounds like coach speak, but that's the truth. It's tough to win on the road.
It's hard to win. Do we have Matt McCall on here tonight, or is this Terrence Oglesby? Tyler, what do you make of Alabama's performance, and where do they? I mean, look, they're in first place in the SEC right now. Where do you? Is that deserved? Are they the best team in that league?
Uh, I don't really believe in Alabama. Are they the best team? Maybe right now, but do they have the most potential? I don't think so. But to me, when I watch the game, I do, I've criticized Alabama when they lost at Auburn because I felt like they just kind of out controlled physicality and the rebounding. But tonight, when I look at the game, they out rebounded Florida by 10, and also they had more points in the paint. I think, they outscored them in the paint by 16 points. So to me, it looked like Alabama played a lot more aggressive and really took it to Florida and got a lot of things out in transition and inside, which is crucial. But to T.O.'s point, you've got to be able to play defense to really win. And ugly games, you're going to have them in the tournament. You got to be able to rely on your defense and your rebounding come tournament time. So that's where I'd have a little, suspicions with Alabama on that.
Guys, I'm not really a great bettor. I think you can tell by the number of pick of the days that I've had lose consecutively. I think we're at about 6 straight losses on our BetMGM special. It's great for our sponsor. BetMGM is such a big fan of me because I keep telling people how to lose money to them. I think the easiest. Yeah, fade Dauster. I think the easiest bet I ever could have won is that T.O. would have loved a game where everybody got up and down, shot up a bunch of threes, and nobody played any defense, and that Tyler Hansbrough does not like the team in Alabama that doesn't have a Haas on the block that you could throw the ball into. That was the most obvious pick that I think anybody could have ever made. Here's my thing with Alabama. I feel like, and T.O., correct me if I'm wrong here, we're not talking enough about Mark Sears. We talk about Jamal Shead and how good he was on Monday. Tristan Newton was awesome last night in the loss to Creighton. Tyler Kolek has 18 assists tonight, and there's still time left in that game at DePaul, so I don't know if it counts if it's at DePaul, but it's at DePaul. We've seen some of these other point guards, like Isaiah Stevens is playing right now on CBS Sports Network against New Mexico. Where does Mark Sears fall into that conversation for you? Because I do feel like after seeing him in person on Saturday, there's so much Jalen Brunson in his game, and he's not quite at that level. But the way that he can absorb contact, the way he gets to his left hand, the way he finishes around the basket, I really really like that dude's game.
Yeah, he impacts the game on so many levels. I mean, anytime, like, let's be honest, like the Alabama offense is geared for playmakers like him. So that's certainly going to help things. But I would put him in the top 10 as far as point guards in the country right now. And there's a lot of really good point guards. So we kind of underestimated that group coming in. But Mark Sears is in there. Isaiah Stevens is in there. Uh, there's several around the country. It's just a matter of finding kind of what that order is. But he's a terrific player. And here's the crazy thing: the fact that he was hooping at Ohio and then comes down to Alabama, like, you want to talk about being able to identify talent. How about Bowles at Ohio before anybody figured it out, and then has a good year, comes down to Alabama and continues to be good. It's just, guys, let's be honest. It comes back to their defense, and if they had even more shot making, they were getting open looks consistently. If they had even more shot making, they might have scored 140. Like, a lot of easy looks, but happy to see that, he's able to impact the game so much. Grant Nelson at 9 of 14 from the field, 6 blocks, 8 boards. He's also a huge impact guy. But Mark Sears, we've kind of known that. I feel like that's one of the things about him. We almost know too much about him, if that makes sense. Like, we know he's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, think about how good that Ohio team was that had Mark Sears on it, because he wasn't even the starting point guard. Jason Preston was. You guys remember Jason Preston, 2nd round pick, upset Virginia in the first round of the 2021 NCAA tournament. Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.